Hey everybody, welcome back to Harrison's Happy Hour. This week's episode, we have Sam Querrey on, career high number 11, 10 ATP titles, and we're happy he's joining us today. Sam, how's quarantine life treating you?
Boring, but I've been getting out a little bit and playing a little bit of tennis, a little bit of pickleball. My wife and I have like a 3-month-old at the house, so
that's right.
That's been keeping us busy. So I've got it better than others, I guess.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, we talked about a little bit before the show started, the 3-month-old baby Ford and Abby. How you guys doing? It's been probably a nice little silver lining to have this time where you could spend a lot of time at home.
Yeah, it's been great. He's amazing. Unlike most tennis players where I would have probably missed a lot of, within his first 6 months to a year of life, I would have missed a lot of weeks being gone on the road. Right. I've got to spend every day with him. Every day when he wakes up, we're right next to each other. I get to help put him down to sleep, and we're hanging out all the time. And, he already looks different now than he did 3 months ago. So it's fun to see him change.
So cool to kind of see the personality starting to come out. And I remember last time we saw each other was at the World Team Tennis All-Star event in San Diego, and that was just days after the birth. And so I know that we've kind of checked in periodically, but give me some new updates in his life. Is he getting more active and engaging with you guys? There he is.
There he is.
Look
right
at
there.
Him, baby.
There's a picture of the happy guy.
Oh my God, how happy. He's just like his dad, just happy and loving life.
Yeah, he's starting to smile a lot more, and you can kind of, not engage with them, but you can kind of make noises and whatnot, and he reacts to them.
That's awesome.
I'm slowly starting to try to put things in his hand to see if he can hold on to them.
Just like seeing are you handing like the tennis racket or the golf club, or like which way are we going?
It's more like my chapstick.
Okay.
Like a little
something
rattle
like
or something like that.
Yeah, okay. Are you like adjusting the grip in his hand? Like, no, like hold it like that, or just letting him grab it.
We're only like a week away from that. But
all
it's just
right,
little things
like
now. But it's been so much fun, and I'm excited for him to get a golf club or a basketball.
Yeah,
or something.
that's so cool. I bet you can't wait to just start that engagement where you can start working on like any activity and just going outside and doing stuff. Have you been able to take him outside on walks and stuff? What's it like in lockdown there?
Yeah, we go on walks. I mean, at least one walk every day. We've got a nice little backyard with grass. We won't put him on the grass, but we'll take him around. I think he likes to look at the trees and
he smiles when he's looking around the trees. Yeah.
And things like that. He's left the house a couple times to go, mainly to like a 2-month doctor's appointment, or occasionally there's like a fruit stand an hour and a half from my house where we get all of our produce. So we'll drive there for something to do. So he's been out and about, and again, it looks like he likes the fresh air, but who knows?
That's awesome. Is he like a crier? Does he sleep through the night pretty well? Where are you guys at with that?
He's a pretty good sleeper. He's right now we got him on a schedule where he goes to bed at 7. We're pretty strict. Like at 6 p.m. we start his bedtime routine with a bath, and then he'll eat, maybe a bedtime story. He goes to bed at 7. We wake him up around 10:30 for it's called like a dream feed, and give him 3 to 4 ounces of food. And then he sleeps till about 5 a.m. Maybe 5:30, maybe 6.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah, so we get a good 6-7 hour chunk out of it, and then he takes 5 naps a day. So if you want to get a nap or you're tired, my wife and I, we've got time to do that. So he's a good sleeper. He's a crier like every little baby, but all in all, he's happy, and he's got a smile on his face, and he's sleeps, and so all is good in his life.
Well, if he takes after his dad at all, then he's definitely got that good outgoing personality and engaging with friends. And so that's I'm sure that's something that you and Abby are both bringing to the table. But I know from our experience that everybody always loves engaging and talking with you. So I'm sure that he's going to follow right in those footsteps and be a happy athletic. And we'll see which way he goes with those athletics, but I'm sure he's going to be able to go in many different directions because he's got the genes. Let's put it that way.
I hope so. I'd like to think that he's ahead of most babies his age, and with the crawling, the rolling over, but it's still too early to tell.
I love it. Yeah, he's 26 inches long. Most babies are 25 inches long.
Exactly. So that's what I like to tell people.
I love it. Well, let's talk a little bit about World Team Tennis. We've got the season coming up. You're playing for the Vegas Rollers. With the big break, it's going to be nice for us to get back on the court and kind of have something that we're training for. I know myself, it's kind of been difficult to get out there without something to look forward to. But now that we know World Team Tennis is proceeding, it's really cool to have something that we're trying to get informed for. Are you excited about the season?
Yeah, look, I've played World Team Tennis for like 12 years. I love it. And it's exactly just what you said. It's tough to go right now. Outside of World Team Tennis, we don't know when things are really going to start up. So It's tough to go out and practice if you didn't have something to look forward to. But knowing we have World Team Tennis, in about 2 months, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, like you talked about, you played World Team Tennis. Now, I remember you talking about this a couple of years ago because you played a full season a few years ago. And it was a year where you had like really high, I think you were top 15 in the world, and you still chose to play World Team Tennis full season. You were talking about how the excitement and the energy behind playing just puts you in such good form for the rest of the year. So tell us a little bit about that and how that team environment, because you've always done a lot of team events. You've been a big Davis Cupper, played Laver Cup, and always played World Team Tennis. So why does that sort of energy start to bring out some of the best level of Sam Querrey tennis?
The main reason is it's fun. I mean, World Team Tennis is, for people that haven't played it, whether you play 1 match, 5 matches a whole season, it's like the most fun you're going to have during the year. It's an individual sport for 98% of the year.
Right.
Like you said, unless you're playing Davis Cup or Fed Cup or Laver Cup, you're out there alone. And World Team Tennis is an opportunity to be on a team with men and women, and it's people that you wouldn't necessarily you're friends with. It's other people from all parts of the world, and it's allowed me to become friends with people that I normally wouldn't talk to. And I've remained friends with my Vegas team from last year. We had Harriet Dart and Matt Reed, and Red Foo was our assistant coach.
That's right.
So, you've got great bonds and friendships, and it's fun, and you've got a little extra pressure almost. You're not just playing for yourself. I also like the change of format.
I like that too.
Scoring, and you can play let courts, and you can substitute. I think that's fun. And I always say this too for people that don't even like tennis. If you're not even a tennis fan, you'll have fun if you go to a World Team Tennis match because of the music and the interaction and all the other kind of aspects of it that, kind of come with it.
For sure. And that kind of brings me to my next question. I was going to ask is,
everyone, this is Ruby.
Hey, Ruby.
Say hi.
I had Ruby's name and age on my chart to ask about. Look at Ruby. Yeah. Look at her. Ruby's a chocolate lab, right?
Come on, Ruby. All right.
Hey, girl. Look over here. I got to bring my pup up. Maybe she'll look at my pup and not me. That's awesome. So you guys got the full family there. You got baby. How's baby Ford and Ruby getting
right
along?
Here? He can say hi. And I got
there
Abby.
He is. And Ford. Abby, what's up, Abby? Thank you for joining us.
How are you guys?
Ford, say hi.
Hey, buddy. Hey, Ford.
He just kind of discovered his hands, so he likes to just kind of chew on them. I love it.
He's looking at me. He's like, "Who is this weird fellow over here?"
Yeah, that's Ryan. Say hi, Ryan.
Hey, buddy. What's going on? You might recognize me if I start throwing rackets. I don't know if I look so
exactly.
He's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, that's you. I got you."
He just ate, so he's in a little bit of a trance right now, and
that's how I get when I eat. Also, when I'm eating, it's like just zone everything out, and I'm focused on the food. So I completely.
I don't know what the dynamic is of who can watch World Team Tennis this year as far as family and friends, but
yeah.
If he can, he'll be making an appearance.
He'll be witnessing that. I mean, I feel like that'll be some extra pressure on you. I'm going to be giving you that a little bit of trash talk. I'm going to be like, you can't lose. You got baby Ford here watching you in his first competition.
Match as a father,
Yeah, exactly. I might have to throw in anything if it gets competitive and close. I got to use anything I can. Well, let's talk a little bit about World Team Tennis, and then we talked about the All-Star event whenever we were there. You and I had a really fun experience, and we've had a couple of little exhibitions that are going on. Do you plan on playing any other lead-up events going on before this World Team Tennis thing, or is it going to be your first event on your calendar?
Well, I actually played like a little event this past weekend in Southern California. This really nice family, the Douglas family, Scott Douglas and his wife have a court in Rolling Hills in Palos Verdes, California.
Right.
And it's a clay court. And over the years, I've practiced there. Steve Johnson, Sharapova practiced there before the French Open. And so they put on a little tournament with 6 guys. It was Brad Klon, Zach Svida, myself, Marcus Giron, Ernesto Escobedo, and Brandon Holt. And it was
that's a really tough draw. That's not an easy. That's about a high level as an XO tournament you can get.
Exactly. It was in the backyard. Couple people watching. They had a nurse there. They had the sanitization stations and packets. And so it was 2 groups of 3, round robin, and then a semifinals and a finals over the weekend. And it was actually a little bit like World Team Tennis format mixed with the Fast 4 format. We played first to 4, no ad scoring, tiebreakers 3-all, and then a tiebreaker for a third set. So it was kind of these quick shootout matches, and it was a ton of fun. We all loved it.
That's awesome.
I won it, of course.
I love it. A title. You got a title in the offseason.
Right? There's no trophy, though, now that I think about it.
You might have to send that little request in. But
that was fun. if there's more of those that pop up before World Team Tennis starts, I'm all for them. It was a ton of fun. It was kind of what we can do right now. There's not a ton of options out there, so we'll take what we can get as tennis players.
Yeah, for sure. And it's funny because when you're talking about events like that with different formats, World Team Tennis, the Fast Four event, everyone seems to enjoy playing those formats and having to do something a little bit different. Tennis is a very traditional sport. We do a lot of things the way that we've been doing them for a long time when it comes to scoring and the format, and also with the fan engagement. A lot of tennis fans have to be quiet, and sometimes that can be a little bit of an obstacle when you're engaging in younger crowds. I know that you're on the Tour Player Council. Has there been any discussion about ways to be more engaging and more involving younger fans to where that World Team Tennis sort of atmosphere can translate into our main tour?
There has a little bit, not in deep discussions, but one of the ideas that's kind of lightly been talked about, and it's something that I would be very much in favor for, would be to kind of start at 250 level events and go to that kind of format that I just talked about. Right. First to four, no ad scoring, and maybe make it 3 out of 5 sets, so it's a little longer, but those matches will be an hour and 15 minutes, an hour. And possibly make the tournaments 4 days, kind of like golf, Thursday to Sunday, round of 16 draw. That way it's, as a younger person or sports fans, we have shorter attention spans now than we've ever had. It seems like. So
and it's also quite tough on like a Tuesday afternoon at 2:00 to get a lot of fans out, right? I mean, a lot of people are working and they would like to be watching, but they have jobs, so it's tough to.
If you had it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you start, Thursday afternoon played, Friday afternoon played, and you could play Saturday and Sunday, play the finals, and kind of condense it down into 4 days. You've got a great product over 4 days. People are excited. As players, you can play it and then kind of have 2-3 days off until the next event starts. So I personally think that would be something that would be really fun and a good change in tennis. And even if we just tried it and it didn't work, I'd be in favor of testing it out. Definitely at the 250 level events. I still do like at the Grand Slams that test of 3 out of 5 sets.
Yeah, for sure.
Test the physicality of it and whatnot. Yeah. So,
well, a lot of top players aren't playing an abundance of 250 level events anyways, because of the way that the ranking system works. So there's definitely a way that we've got to figure out how to be a little bit more innovative with ideas to get more and more fans involved and appreciating the level of professional tennis that's maybe not always including one of the top 3 players in the world. So it's definitely a good format, and I think that it's exciting to think about. And you also have to think about, like you said, when you're playing every day and you're playing multiple events in a row, if you start playing well, it's almost like you're playing every match a little banged up, because if you go finals to next match Monday and you're playing another match, it's almost like, well, I didn't recover from the 6 out of 7 days I just played last week. So there's a little bit of room for having players stay healthy, which I think would be better overall for the sport also.
Definitely. And that format also adds excitement in a way that if you have no ad scoring, you've got a lot of sudden death points. Yeah. And I would be a fan of playing tiebreakers to 5, where at 4-all, it's a sudden death point. So just during any given match, you've got 6, 7, 8 points where you're like, oh my God, this is a winner take all point. And
for sure.
Just, as a spectator, that's what I want. I want that excitement.
Yeah, for sure. It's tougher to get everyone bought in on that because, everyone's used to playing the traditional format. But, when I talk about it, when we've talked about it in private conversations, I think the biggest thing that we're trying to argue is that getting things more excited and more involved means more money.
Sorry, the baby's crying.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. We were getting no sound problems from baby Ford. You're good.
But you weren't.
No, it was okay. It was.
I'm going back.
I was hearing you good. Yeah, you're good. Don't worry. Everything's good there. But we'll wait for you to walk. No, that's a gorgeous home, by the way. That looks like a little painting wall there. It looks really, really good.
Yeah,
a lot of art.
A little art collage, but it's really nice.
I thought you were just gonna discreetly take us by your trophy cases.
I've got a couple of them.
They're over there.
Over there.
All right.
But not. I kind of just got the ones that look cool out. A lot of them are in boxes in the garage.
Yeah, cool. Well, that kind of leads me into some of our fan questions. We've been wrapping everything up with a couple of fan questions, and I want to start with one of them that is exactly that. Can you tell us, out of your 10 titles, do you have a most memorable title or a favorite one so far?
Probably 2 that are my kind of 1A, 1B. One would definitely be Acapulco in 2017.
Huge win there. Beating Nadal in the finals. What a win that was.
And that's pretty much there was other good wins to the final, but Nadal in the final was something pretty special. And to do it in Mexico where 99% of the fans were cheering for him kind of made it.
That atmosphere is just crazy because you're playing night matches. Everyone's going nuts. I feel like they start drinking margaritas at like 11 a.m. and by 7 p.m. everyone's just going crazy.
Until 10 p.m.
It's incredible.
Yeah, so it's
I remember watching that. What
for people who haven't gone.
For sure.
And then the other one would be in 2010. I won Queens.
That's right.
Wimbledon, and that was always exciting. And Stephen Armitage, for people who don't know, he works at UTR and helps put together a lot of these UTR events. He always told me that his dad felt that Queens was the third biggest tournament in the world. There was Wimbledon, U.S. Open, and then Queens.
That's right. I'm gonna have to save this clip and then maybe show it to Marty because I know that there's a little bit of salt in the wound from that final because that was one that he really, really wanted. Yeah, and you stole it.
It's not fun playing your friends in the final.
No, it's not.
In any circumstance, let alone a final of a big tournament.
For sure. I've played Izmir twice in the finals here in Atlanta, and I always joke with them. I'm like, you've just taken away 2 titles from me, and they were dream titles. You've got 15 of them. You could have thrown Harry one, okay, but he didn't. Exactly. So I know how that whole thing goes.
With the Queens tournament, I was sent my trophy. When I opened, it was shattered into a million pieces.
No way.
They were really, I let them know. They sent me another one, and it had a big chip in it. So my Queens trophy, I didn't even ask for a third. So my Queen's trophy's got like a chunk missing out of it.
Oh, well, eventually you got to get a new one unless you just feel like that kind of, weathered it in a way that makes it special.
Yeah, at this point, I kind of like it. It makes for a good
I like it. That's awesome. Well, next fan question is, when you're playing outside of the U.S., do you have a favorite city? Let's exclude Acapulco because I know that it has some special memories there. But if you think about abroad in the tour, where's somewhere that you always look forward to going every year?
2 places probably stand out, like Australia. I love Melbourne.
Yeah.
And one of those reasons is like I feel like we're home for November, December, and by the time Australia starts, you're like, all right, I'm ready to get back onto the road.
Yeah, 4 weeks doesn't seem like that long when you've just spent 6 weeks at home. It's not as bad.
Right, but Melbourne's just got a great feel. It's one of the few kind of tournaments where for people who haven't been, the venue is like a mile from downtown Melbourne, so you can stay in the city, you can walk there. The restaurants are open. It's just got a awesome, fun vibe to it the whole time that you're there. And then the other one would be kind of back to Queens and Wimbledon because, you stay in Wimbledon Village about 20 minutes outside of London, which and it's really the only time during the year where you kind of rent a house or a flat or an apartment, and you're in that for like the month you're in London. So it kind of it's different than the hotels we stay in week in, week out. You get to go stay in a house, cook breakfast, cook dinner, have a little living room, family room, have a backyard. And so it's nice to kind of feel normal and yet play a very important tournament in Wimbledon. Yeah,
you're not just confined to one hotel room. You have the whole thing.
Yeah, and usually you might be in a house with your wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever, a coach. You might have your parents there, some friends. It's just
you've had some friends over. I remember a couple of times at Wimbledon, you've had some good friends that have come over and hung out, and we've had some really fun kind of social atmospheres that aren't your prototypical tour road weeks.
Exactly, and that just kind of lightens the mood, I guess, while you're at a tournament.
Yeah, definitely does. Well, Sam, thanks so much for joining us today. It was really great to talk to you and hear what you've been up to. As always, we wish the wife, the baby, and Ruby. I saw the pup made an appearance, so we got to include her. We wish you guys all the best, and thanks so much for joining us today. I can't wait to see you for World Team Tennis season. Don't practice too much. I need a little bit of edge, especially if we're going to play in your hometown.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, and go Rollers. Hopefully we'll take the first Vegas title for the World Team Tennis team in Vegas.
Yeah, well, we'll see what we can do about that, but we'll talk to you guys soon. Take care, buddy.
All right. Thanks, Ryan.